President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi receives in the new city of Al Alamein the chairman of Sudan's Sovereign Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi receives a high-level delegation from the Democratic and Republican parties in the U.S. Congress and a number of officials and members of committees in the House of Representatives and the Senate.
لكل الناس في دايما حلم تحلم بيه وانا كان حلمي على قدي ونفسي اعيش ولما رميت عليك حملي شاركتني فيه ايدك في ايديا من الاول ما بتسيبنيش يلا يلا نكمل سكه مشيناها يلا نفرح سوا باللي احنا حققناه يلا هانت خلاص وانا وانت قلناه احنا نقدر وده اللي انا وانت اثبتناه وخلاص فاضل تكه 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 على اخر السكه لسه تكه كان ناس كتير شكه 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 وشوفوا رحنا لفين وخلاص فاضل تكه 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 على اخر السكه لسه تكه كان ناس كتير شكة 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 وشوفوا رحنا لفين وخلاص فاضل تكة 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 على آخر السكة لسه تكة خطوة جابت خطوة 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 وشوفوا رحنا لفين
يلا مصريين همتكم ده الحلم خلاص فاضل عليه تكة.
Well, welcome back and getting into our topic, which is a very significant sector that Egypt gives high priority, the transformation or the digital transformation of Egypt. And that is far important for Egypt and its economy. Let me first welcome our guest engineer, Ramez Barqouki, ICT and digital transformation expert. Thank you so much for being with us.
Same to you. Thank you so much for being with you today. And we are talking about a very hot topic, I think is actually very important even internally, and even the international society is looking for the digital transformation, how it's going to impact the economy so far.
Indeed, indeed, and that's the main issue of our topic tonight. My pleasure having you. And yes, Egypt has already made significant progress, not just progress, but rather strides in recent years towards the digital transformation. Please illustrate.
Yeah, Egypt has started this one early, and we all know about Egypt Vision 2030, which started by February 2016, which is one of the major part of that vision is how to convert our economy and our society to digital. Let me quickly explain what is a digital transformation for the people,
please,
so you can simplify the expression of the digital transformation. Basically, the digital transformation is converting data from the normal analog and traditional information to be computerized, so we can analyze the data and start taking decisions faster and easier. So the main target for the digital transformation is to get the decision easier, faster, and precise. That's how most of the government all over the world trying to go through that way. Digital transformation consists of many things you can say, like for example, how to configure the organization to be at a digital transformation site, how to convert the infrastructure to be digital. So that's the major even challenge for all the organization to start doing that journey.
No, because you have to explain each of what you said, okay?
All right, sure.
You're so not just putting that in points and think that people would really understand what you're speaking about.
Okay, so let me start from beginning. Let's say any organization want to go digital. So many organizations or even startup companies come to me and say, hey, I need to go digital. So the first thing to go digital is to digitalize your information data you have from the normal paperwork to be digitalized and computerized in the memories and servers. This can be done by a normal way of digitalize this information to digitals, zeros and ones, then set up the specific softwares and tools in your servers to start dealing with this information and taking decisions. That is the first step of the digital transformation. Then let me give an example.
That's the first level.
That's the first level.
Okay.
Let me say, yeah. Let me give an example. Before we took in some photos and taken some videos, and then we go for the normal traditional way to see these photos. Now we have a digital photos that you can memorize thousands of photos in the mobile phone or something. That's part of the digital transformation we have in the past. Now, any transaction should be in a digital site, and also it can be on premises or in the cloud. This is a main also concept we need to look at in terms of digital transformation.
So this is digitizing all the data of Egypt. This is the complete transformation into the digital. Right. I'm not sure if I'm going to ask you first or give this report, but let me take this question from your point of view. Why is it very important for Egypt to move into such
digital journey,
to such a process, and why is it became inevitable anymore to not to?
Well, that's a very good question, and even all the organization talking about this point. First of all, e-commerce and digital commerce is a key of attracting all the investors actually in Egypt. If you look at most of the trades and manufacturing process, and all the investors looking for how can we maintain and optimize the operation of any projects. So Egypt has a good time to convert to digital for attracting a lot of investors, and also convert the normal service for Egyptians to be easier and faster. And that's actually catching up all kind of facilities in the country, like for example education, healthcare, and also the manufacturing and other process. So
all institutions.
Yeah, of course. Of course, that is the era. Let me say it like that. That is the language of the era. Let me say that. So Egypt has taken a lot of steps to go through that journey. We see the Ministry of Communication and Information has taken a lot of initiative steps to actually go digital by building up the infrastructure of the digital, which is a key. Before go digital, you need to plan your infrastructure well to accommodate all the services that you are deploying in the future. Indeed. So that's really very important, that side.
Put the basis, the right basis. Yeah. Before we continue on with our discussion, let's have this first report. And the EIB backs $150 million Middle East Venture Capital Initiative to accelerate digital transformation. Let's watch.
Egypt cooperates with information technology giants to set digital transformation roadmap. EIB backs $150 million Middle East Venture Capital Initiative to accelerate digital transformation. Egypt's Information and Decision Support Center has signed a memorandum of understanding with an information technology giant to set a roadmap for digital transformation in Egypt. The MOU entails creating an intensive training program for IGSC personnel within the framework of a comprehensive plan for digitizing the center's services. IGSC Chairman Osama Al-Gohari noted that another goal of partnership is to incorporate artificial intelligence technology into IGSC's operations. The MOU with the IGSC will act as a springboard for a more substantial cooperation with the center. The IGSC was established in 1985 and serves as Cabinet's think tank, supporting decision makers with regard to economic, social, and political issues is its primary duty. Egypt has made significant progress in recent years towards digitalization. The country inked 29 agreements with foreign businesses in December 2022 to establish outsourcing centers there, which were projected to increase Egypt's digital exports by $1 billion by 2025 and generate more than 34,000 jobs. Egypt's digital exports are projected to reach approximately $5.5 billion in the fiscal year 2022-2023, up 12.2% from $4.9 billion in fiscal year 2021-2022. Meanwhile, the European Investment Bank Global announced it will provide $27 billion participation in the $150 million Middle East Venture Fund. This is the largest ever venture capital engagement by the EIB in the Middle East. The new venture capital fund launched by Middle East Venture Partners aims to increase targeted equity investment in high-growth e-commerce, health, education, technology companies across the Middle East and Pakistan. EIB has unique global experience of ensuring that entrepreneurs and growth companies access finance. The European Investment Bank recognizes the unique role of venture capital and works with leading venture capital partners to unlock high-impact targeted investment that boosts economic growth and ensures that entrepreneurs benefit from growth and innovation. Best practice. The fund will enable local companies to grow, build on new opportunities for digital commerce, education, and healthcare services, and deliver thousands of high-skilled jobs across the region. The European Union is committed to private sector development in Egypt and across the region. This new cooperation between EIB Global and Middle East Venture Partners will accelerate skilled job creation and increase the role of technology-driven business in the years ahead.
Well, welcome back, and back to you, Engineer Ramez. And the significance of directing the investments or the environment of investments and economy towards the digital economy, and how this reflects on the plans and programs put by the country.
Well, that's very important. As I said, investing in a digital transformation is a key now for all governments to start talking with the same language, and that's why Egypt has started investing in that. And also the impact of digital transformation in the society is huge. Let me take it one by one. For example, for the normal governmental service for the people, it's become easier and faster. So instead of going to the organization and start applying by paperwork and all of that long story, you can just go online and start making your application and start asking for your service. And that's why Egypt's starting to do that for most of the services at the moment. The second point is about education, which is key. Now we know all that the schools have actually equipped with a specific information bank that can the student log in at any time to that information and start gathering information about it. All of that
And now we're speaking about services.
Yeah.
Not the economy itself.
Now we are talking about the normal
right.
services.
So we're speaking about education, we're speaking about health and... Okay.
Yes. So all of this is like a public services for the people that the government try to do it through the digital transformation. In terms of economy, that's big situation in terms of the all organization now need to go digital for two things: to attract investors, as I said, because that is how the economy is going to be driven all over the world. Let me give an example in the old. There is some companies have a huge...
No. What does this mean? I'm sorry.
Yes, sure.
That would be, this will be driving the economy.
Yeah.
In which way? I mean here, yes, indeed, it is a matter of attraction to investors.
Yeah.
Because we are really putting our strategy to be able to put a conducive atmosphere for attracting investors. But how would that drive the economy?
Okay, well, the economy have two major things. Is first of all, the people are actually making business in the country, which is a normal startup companies and the business that is having that in the country. And the second point is the government that's supporting that companies to do the business. So to get the gateway of that common language, you need to be digitalized by a lot of tools. For example, we have ERP systems, we have CRM system, which is a customer relationship management, is part of the digital transformation. How can you get a feedback, immediate feedback from the customers of your business? This in the past, we couldn't have to gather all this information, and we don't have a feedback even from the customers of how the business is. To drive the economy, you need to collect data about the investing, about the quality of service, and also about the trading information and marketing. By all of this, we're actually getting the final picture of how the economy is going to be driven by the digital transformation. So the key point now for any company or even private sector to set up a digital transformation platform then can guide them to read the market in terms of the quality of service for the customers, in terms of how the government facilitate the process for them to the company. And that's what actually we started to do in many of the companies here that actually getting that journey.
Let me here take it from this point. Facilitations that the digital transformation give for the economy, when we speak about banks, when we speak about procedures, when we speak about opportunities, when we speak about files and data of people that are being put. How is this market-driven environment reflect on the capacity of investment or the capacity of being able to attract investments, foreign direct investments, of course.
As you give a very important example about the fintech technology of the banking system that's converting to digital. We all know now that there is a lot of ways now to pay. You don't need to go to the bank and start making traditional payment. You have a lot of ways to do payment and e-payment and also for the banking system. That will help the organization to start dealing with the banking system easier and faster. So drive the market comes from the market needs. The main point of digital transformation to drive the economy is to collect information about the market, to see how the customers need this service faster and easier. And that's the main rule when we built up any digital transformation system at any organization. We look at this point, how to build organizations that have the functions and tools and softwares that can drive that customer experience for them. So to have a bank system have different way of payment, and also the main government service for them is going to drive the business easily and faster. And that's how the major value of the digital transformation to the market.
Artificial intelligence.
Well,
and that's a big.
Sure.
It's a big theme right now, and utilizing artificial intelligence in our environment. Because if we speak about artificial intelligence, we're using artificial intelligence in every small and tiny daily life. Yes. Let me know here, how does this apply?
Fantastic. As you said, artificial intelligence in our daily uses, by the way. Let me give a quick background about artificial intelligence. Actually, is an old idea, by the way. It's a 1956 started in the United States. The calculator is part of this artificial intelligence, by the way, and it has 4 stages to reach the level we are now. The first stage is the normal limited memory, that we actually save some information in the machine and then tell the machine to take a decision based on that information. The next level, which is quite dangerous, is the theory of brain, that the machine can talk to you like a humans, you know. And that's how the international society are quite afraid about that level, and start doing some steps to do and decrease the level of actually intelligence of the machine so far. The relationship between artificial intelligence and digital transformation is actually part of it. For example, how can I know my customers like my product or not? How can I know that the customer need my product or not? All of this information gathering based off artificial intelligence, I can take decision and start making digital marketing campaign that can target the specific products for that. So artificial intelligence is a key tool when we go digital transformation. It's part of architecture of the digital transformation for the way.
The smooth transition from isolated transactions to immense experiences and seamless commerce across various business. And how do you think we could reach that by the year 2030?
That's really one of the challenges that we are facing at the moment. But let me say that we are actually on the right way. We have started that 2016, as I said. We have already started building the infrastructure on the fiber optics, the server, even building the cloud of information that can gather that information. And then the next, that we are actually train the human resources. I think this is one of the key that we are working at the moment, at how to train people to start dealing with a digital environment. And that comes from the education, then come to the even organization level of employment. So training, building up the infrastructure, and also the second is using the specific tools and software that can reflect the value of the digital transformation. So I think we still have time to work hard for that. We all, the government, actually working hard for that. And then I believe that the Ministry of Communication have done that for a lot of initiative steps that making us ready to be digital. And that's how we, all the experts now looking at that side. And most of the startup company, by the way, working based on this digital platform. Look now, how can you start up a company? You just go in 2 days, in one single day, you can start up the company, start making website, connect your website with the different services of the government, and start go to the market and start making your product in the market in 3-4 days, which is a very big achievement, I believe, in the past 3-4 years.
We'll get back to our discussion, but we need to see this report.
Sure.
But it's very important to get back to some of the important plans and strategies that are made by the government. Sure. Before we continue on with our discussion, let's first have this quick report on Egypt's digital experts to hit $5.5 billion in the fiscal year 2022-2023. Let's watch.
Egypt's digital exports are projected to reach approximately $5.5 billion in fiscal year 2022-2023, up 12.2% from $4.9 billion in fiscal year 2021-2022. Minister of Telecommunications and Information Technology Amr Talat said, "The surge in Egypt's digital exports is a result of the opening of local outsourcing centers by US and Indian technology giants in Egypt." In December 2022, Egypt signed 29 agreements with international companies to build outsourcing centers in the country, which was expected to add $1 billion to Egypt's digital exports by 2025 and create more than 34,000 jobs. Furthermore, Talat revealed that telecommunications sector contribution to Egypt's GDP rose to over 5% in fiscal year 2022-2023, slightly higher than the level seen in fiscal year 2021-2022. The minister said that $2 billion has been invested to upgrade internet services in Egypt, bringing the fixed internet speed to 47 megabits per second in 2023 from 5.6 Mbps in 2019. Last October, Talat announced that Egypt invested 50 million Egyptian pounds in digital transformation projects.
Right, welcome back, and back to you, Engineer Ramez. And how, from your point of view, the digital transformation goes in line with the Egypt's overall sustainable development vision for 2030?
Well, artificial intelligence and digital transformation now is hitting all the fields that we actually working on. If you look at the agriculture, by the way, is also a digital transformation comes playing big roles for that. Manufacturing, education, healthcare. The main point of 2030 vision for Egypt is how to make sustainable economy with safety. And also
resilience and sustainability.
Exactly. And also another point that we are work in progress in it is about the security, which is cyber security is one of the key. When we go to digital, it means all the information comes in the cloud. So you need to be secured, and you need to make sure that the cyber security in terms of information security and that side. And that's how also we have a department that working in that side about the cyber security to make sure that the information secured and also getting an accurate information based on that. In the other side of economy is...
No, before we go to the other side of economy, because you just pointed your finger on a very important topic that I was about to give one question about, but cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And we are in a world where information are just in the air.
Yeah.
How important is that? How important to boost cybersecurity, and how would that reflect on all the spectrum or all the sectors of the country?
As you say, it is a very important point. So in the cybersecurity side, let me explain quickly why we are worried about cybersecurity in terms of go to digital. Before, our servers and information and servers called on-premises technology, which means you are here, you have your servers physically in the place. So if anybody needs to attack or do any hacking, he needs to go physically to that server and start taking information. But if you go to cloud and digital, it means the information hosted by somebody else, which is a big companies doing hosting for the information in the cloud. So which means your information in the cloud, you need to be secured, you need to deploy a very advanced tools of the cybersecurity, which means your information is in the cloud. So that cybersecurity is a major part when we built up any digital transformation system. How is going to impact our decision of the digital transformation is actually if you apply a very strict cybersecurity system in your premises and even in the cloud, you can go digital without no issues. But the point now, there is no security 100%, that you need to consider some percentage that could be part of your attack. And that's how research is coming from time to time to know what is new in the world. And before deploying any technology, you need to study it very well before deploying that kind of technology.
Very much.
I agree, cybersecurity is a key, and even it has a big department at any research and development for any company, by the way. If you look at the big companies doing that, they have a big department and even funding for research and development just for cybersecurity.
Indeed, indeed, and it reflects very much, particularly on protecting what we have really reached and achieved. How do you perceive the measures taken by Egypt so far in adopting, or those measures that were adopted in order to boost the digital transformation and build on that?
I think the measures of the Egypt digital transformation is one of the things, a mindset. We need to have our mindset to understand digital first. And the second point is the infrastructures that building that digital transformation to allow us to start using that tools and to make sure that digital transformation is able to deployed and able to give us the value out of it. The third point about which is measuring training. Training is a key. For example, now the employees and people are used for the normal traditional work paper, so they need to be trained for that kind of digitalization. This is another point that needs to be measured in the journey of the digital transformation. Let me give you an example. For example, now the normal taxi before, if you have a taxi, for example, the taxi is just a driver. He has the skills of driving. But now we have some application that is not only skills of driving, it's about skills to receiving order, that you need to go to that location and pick somebody, and then payment online. So if you are just only driver, you'll not be able to do the job when it comes to digital of driving taxi. And that application, let me say, of taking taxi. So training is very key also and measured for the digital transformation point of view in Egypt. And I think that's why the government spent a lot for campaigns and even initiative for training people for the digital. We have a digital Egypt vision for the Ministry of Communications. If you look at the education point, we have 11 colleges just teaching artificial intelligence and digital transformation. So Egypt know very well the value of this one, and they are spending a lot of efforts to reach the level of understanding that 100%.
Usually digital transformation is very much related to the, or is being connected with the financial inclusion and the good governance.
I agree. The process of any government based on many decisions and many processes. The value of the digital transformation comes in that area. For the government, before taking decisions or even converting the ideas or something, if they have a proper report coming based on information analyzed, the correct decision will come on time. And that is the value of the digital transformation. And also, one of the value based on that point is decreasing the corruption, by the way. Because if anything digital, how can you corrupt this one? You need to have an access for a lot of tools and softwares just to try to change something, which is quite impossible, let me say.
You will be tracking all the process, so
100%.
The percentage of getting into corruption
will be decreased.
Indeed.
Exactly, and there is a lot of research explaining that point, by the way. There's a lot of research saying that after applying the digital transformation in such organization, the corruption even decreased by 70 to 75%, which means that it's a huge impact at any organization deploying that digital. I'm talking about even the private sector, by the way. Not only the government services, but also for the private sector, for the business people, to track the transactions, to see how the customers is dealing, who's satisfied, who's not. How can I react for any action could happen that is not matching with the market? And we see a lot of companies has actually go down because they refuse to go digital. And some other companies going in the very huge value just because go digital.
Before I ask you, I have 2 minutes, okay?
Sure.
Okay, so I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one would be the importance of educating or preparing calibers that would deal with or cope with what we need of our requirements.
Well, educating this needs is very important, and we need to inject that kind of knowledge for all organizations and all education premises. It can be the digital